take to get this?
Okay, send out the countdown clock. And here we go.
10,
9,
8, 7,
6,
5,
4,
3, 2, 1.
Hi, and welcome to Secrets to Surviving Alienation. I'm Mr. X, or as you can see, I forgot to change my name, Jonathan Hauser. We're going to go back and watch this video. It's about 14 minutes long, for parenting together with Ranji, and after that we'll call it a night. All right.
Why don't you believe me? Why don't you believe me?
One form of retribution was to take the non-believers' daughters as slaves and virgin brides. And that's exactly what the grooming gangs did. In Bradford, we started as a charity. We started off by a group of parents, and a lot of these young boys were asking our daughters about their virginity. This is how we got the idea that that was what they were after. We never realized it was on a monumental scale the way that it actually turned out to be.
You know what I mean? It's just, I had another call last night again, of another person who I know who has committed suicide. This is another big problem. And I think one of the real problems with this is these people feel they're alienated, that they have no help. Since I've broken silence on people who are either raping children or physical abuse, emotional abuse, I have been petrol bombed. I have had people come to see me to get people to drop charges on sexual child abuse. I've had threats, I've had intimidations, I've had my windows put through. Last year, we had the police, while I was not at home, targeted my daughter at my home address. The same vulnerable girl who's been breaking silence, that once they help, they came to threaten her. Now, when you come and find out what they threatened her with, and I'm not going to put it on this video because they don't know, they asked from the elbow at the moment.
Yeah.
It's even more horrible that you would threaten a child for somebody else's crime still.
Yeah. And
so the issue of parents is one thing, but when these children become of an age, they are also targeted and neglected. For all the Pakistani community or the Muslim community to understand, this is the real thing. You are being targeted with preconceived ideas, biased reports, and manufactured documents. And that's not saying that it's not happening to the English community. It's happening to everybody. When they're in the system, the social workers are using the children as a weapon. There's a girl, a Pakistani girl, who is going through domestic issues and problems in her parents' home.
Okay.
So she breaks free from there. She reports, obviously, to the social workers. They come, they get her. What they do is they firstly go put her in a hostel, a domestic violent women hostel. Now, she's got a little baby. They put it in there, and the first thing they start telling her is, right, we're going to help you, but from now on, you need to do what we tell you. And if you don't, we'll take your child off you, we'll take your daughter off you.
Does the Prime Minister agree with me that the Haringey inquiry is completely unacceptable? It is being led by Mrs. Shoesmith, who is the Council's own Director of Children's Services. does the Prime Minister agree with me she cannot possibly investigate the failure of her own department?
Let me say, first of all, and I believe I speak for the whole country, that people are not only shocked and saddened, but horrified and angered by what they have seen reported.
It's about a boyfriend who couldn't read but could beat a child, and it's about a social services department that gets £100 million a year and can't look after children. That's what this is about.
They don't want this to happen because the game's over. They know it's over. It's just what we're going to do about it, the public. Because for the public, I mean, there's so many cases come forward that I'm just overwhelmed, to be perfectly honest. I really am.
They cannot understand a court where everything is secret. Social workers and anybody can just do and say whatever they damn well please. Ignore people like you, ignore your daughter, ignore everybody else, and just do what they want to do. Like you've been saying, they already know this, what they're going to do, don't they?
Well, this is an issue now. They'll have to do something about it because look at what's happened. You've had to look at them concerns, and there's some serious.
I just have to stop it there. This is the first time viewing this, and it's like, what the fuck, UK? Like, what the fuck? I mean, it's bad here in the US, everywhere else, but Jesus Christ. I didn't realize it was that bad.
Serious concerns in there. They are now blaming the judge. Now, who's going to take the rap for this? They could blame who they want. What respect has our judge got now? And I am still keeping the respect for the judge because I know it has been fraud. But all these cases, you're 100% right. The whole purpose of it is for social workers to control the whole court case.
Yeah.
Because of the loyalty of the judges they have towards the social workers, that is a failure. We are stripped from our humanitarian rights, not only the parents and the children, under a fake flag of child protection.
Yeah.
So these are the things that they're doing. See, now they've got to explain something to everybody. I mean, Kafkas was in that court arena. They knew about it. Do they not ever talk to each other? Or do they just keep it in their pocket? Or do they all know about it and they abiding and abetting?
They all know about it. Yeah, come on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, I'm Ian Hopkins, the Chief Constable of Greater Manchester Police. On behalf of Greater Manchester Police, I want to apologise to all of those vulnerable children who were let down in 2004 when Greater Manchester Police did not thoroughly investigate the abhorrent offences that had been committed against them. I want to say that I'm personally disgusted that these children were not cared for and the awful abuse they suffered. To date, Operation Green Jacket has identified 53 potential victims from 2004-05. 48 of those victims that were children were in looked after care in 2004 and 5.
The evidence they didn't want you to see.
That's been scored out because they don't want that.
I can't see the word fear. Is it in here?
I look at this and I'm so disappointed.
And trouble at the very top.
What about your background?
My background as a police officer.
The allegations of sexual assault.
Well, what we've got now, what we have now, it's a movement. It's no organisation. There is no organisation to it at all. It's just Matthew 17. It started off in Bradford because there were young girls being abused, and they were being completely ignored. All the newspapers were talking about the grooming gangs and their victims. They were completely ignoring the girls, some of the other girls, in the Muslim community. So we put this Matthew 17. There was some horrific, I won't go through them because they were absolutely horrific things that they did to these girls. And so we started this, and that way people who knew what Matthew 17 represented, what it talks about, they understood that this was a distress call. I have nothing to do with it. I just put the idea forward and people went with it. So I'm reviving that now, and it's brought people like yourself forward in speaking up. That I worked in a nursery, and there was about 60% were minority, ethnic minority families that were in there, and it was generally the women that I had time to speak to while they were waiting, and they all told me, a lot of them told me a very, very similar story about being abused and everybody ignoring them. And when they go to people, to the council, to the social workers, they were sending them back to the home where they were abused and beaten.
Can you believe this?
I know, this is what actually happened. There's a woman, she was, and so I won't go through the details, but this woman was so thin. It was horrible to see her, because she was obviously distressed, and anxiety and everything had got her into such a state. And she was telling me that she, several times, she went to the local authorities and said, "You've got to help me, I'm being beaten, badly treated, etc." And they said, "Oh, we've got a women's group, especially for Asian women, or Muslim women." So she went there, and they said, "Go back and apologize to your husband. Tell him you're sorry."
No, oh my God.
Well, this is a total mad. I mean, some things are so bad and so seriously bad. They have to be. You have to laugh, or you would drive yourself mentally ill.
Yes, I agree. Now,
yeah.
I'm really glad you touched on that point, because that's something that I am putting a team of people together, as well as English people and many Asians, where we're trying to put a system together for like advocates and counseling for issues in families. We'll just leave it as issues.
Of course, yeah.
But the thing is, when we go to the issues, we will deal with it. Definitely not like these women experience.
You're not going to send them back to
we will go out of our way to do whatever it takes to protect them, listen to them, and if possible, to resolve things. If they could be resolved, we will do that. The other thing that I have done now, because of the neglect of the authority for such a long time, I've got a new platform that's going to be launched this month. It's called www.lcs.news.
Excellent. Yeah.
This news channel, I'll be, these issues that I'm speaking to you about, because I've got so many coming in.
Yeah.
This will be in broad daylight. I'll be still protecting the people I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I'll be releasing their information live on public media through LCS News to help anybody who is going through these problems. And when there's an issue taking place, like today, I've got multiple issues that are taking place in Leicester.
Right.
But we don't have a system, and the police never ever pay attention, because our government has got an issue. When any of them abuse anything, you've got to go through a complaint procedure. That's a normal uttering of this. I had a detective, CID, yesterday came to my house for another reason, for somebody local. There was an incident. I told her that she'd be interested in learning about victims of sexual child abuse, because this is where I am, because I've never met this detective. So she goes, "Oh yeah, of course, I'd definitely be interested. What's it regarding?" So when I broke it down, as soon as I got to social workers and the police, she goes, "Oh, you must go through a complaint procedure." There you go again. They all live in a deluded complaint procedure.
Yeah.
You see, now all the police officers who told me to go through the complaint procedure in 2014, 15, 16, 17 are still watching this today. They know I've gone public now, and they're saying, "Do whatever you need to do." We've never seen a pathetic system like this ever. Hang on, and we're in the 21st century, and we're not in a third world country.
Yeah.
We're in a modern society, and we have a law that's actually manufactured to cater for social services, and their loopholes. It has nothing to do with safeguarding children. I mean, when there's real cases, look, we're talking about so many real cases. I tell the police about real cases. They still don't want to know. Because once a social worker or a government body is involved, they don't want to know about it. Then children could be raped physically, emotionally. They don't care. And this is where the public needs to be alert now.
Yeah.
Because by the time, God willing, I've lived long enough and I'm finished with this,
Yeah.
I will be putting a setup in every city in the country.
Yeah.
Where this particular group now is a separate group. What happens or where do you go when you ring Childline, NSPCC, 101, social services, and
Yeah.
children go through crimes? We public must react. We are no longer going to be that if they allow child sexual abuse, that's their business.
Yeah.
We are humans, we are public members, we feel suffering for these children, so we must react. But how do we react? That's something we're putting in place today.
Well, I have to say that is a very, very, very hard video, and we should support the people over in UK and get this figured out, and just keep on trucking. Then help protect the kids from the system's no good. It's all corrupt. Well, it's been nice talking with you guys for the short period of time, and always thanks for the support and the views, and help support Ranji and the initiative that they're doing in the UK. And you guys have a good night.
My greatest moments didn't come from my greatest moments. My greatest moments came from my greatest